Riri was the only child born to Mr. and Mrs. Luma. Riri's parents were so rich and her evil uncle eyed her parents' wealth for quite some time. Riri's uncle, Mr. Bull, schemed on how he would bring down Riri's parents for him to take over the wealth as Riri's only guardian. Mr. Bull's thirst for wealth finally overwhelmed him and he used black magic to strike down Riri's parents, and that very night they both died in their sleep. Mr. Bull gave Riri's parents a befitting burial using their own money. After the burial, Mr. Bull moved into the mansion. He took over completely, and since Riri was only an underage, she didn't have any power over her uncle. One day, Mr. Bull brought an old man into the mansion and told Riri,
"Young girl, you know my brother was the richest man in this community. I mean, look at his home. Who built such a home in the village? Anyway, now that I'm the only guardian, I'll give you two choices. It's either you leave this home or get married and secure your own future. After all, you're just a girl, and there's no way I'm investing my brother's money on a girl who's old enough to be in her own husband's house. You see this man? He's my friend. His name is Mr. Matumbo. He's ready to pay your bride price for you to move in with him as his wife."
Riri stood with tears running down her cheeks. She was helpless, but then she agreed to go with the old man, Mr. Matumbo. Riri got to her new home and she had to figure out how to be a wife. She had to figure out all the wifey duties at her age, from cleaning, cooking, fetching firewood and even water, and taking care of the old man, Mr. Matumbo. And before she knew it, she was pregnant. Her pregnancy journey was not easy because she was too young to be pregnant and she wasn't getting the right nutrition because her old husband could not afford it. She struggled to feed, but luckily their community had a government-sponsored clinic where she would go for her clinics each time. But she hardly attended the clinics because of the chores she had to do at home. 9 months later, she was admitted in the hospital to give birth, but her labor prolonged for over 48 hours and she gave birth to a stillbirth. Riri was in so much pain, she couldn't believe she had lost her baby. She went back home and after 1 month post-delivery, she wasn't getting any better. She had fever, belly pains, diarrhea, and she kept vomiting. She went back to the clinic and the doctor diagnosed her with vaginal fistula. The doctor explained the causes and put her on a waiting list of those to receive free surgery from experienced surgeons who came yearly to the village to perform free surgery on women with fistula. Riri was in so much pain and she requested for painkillers. The doctor gave her painkillers and something to help with the infection that was already developing. Months passed and Riri was not getting better. She started perceiving foul smell coming out from her body. She could no longer hold her urine. She kept having gas leak through her vagina and she was becoming weaker and thinner by the day. She went back to the hospital and the doctor had pity on her. He asked her to tell him her story, and when the doctor heard her story, he fumed up and called the organization that helps with fistula, which reconsidered Riri's case and came to the village because of Riri's condition. A surgery was performed on Riri and her condition was corrected. The officer in charge then ordered for the arrest of Mr. Bull and Mr. Matumbo, who had forced her into an early marriage. Riri was then adopted by the officer and she lived under her care until she was mature enough to take over her father's wealth. The end. If you've enjoyed this story, please give it a like, subscribe, share, and please consider leaving a comment on the comment section telling me if you enjoyed the story, and tell me wherever city or country you're watching me from for me to give you a shout out on the next episode of Wonder Tales by Julian.